we basically went from having a hospital planned birth to a very successful and beautiful home birth because of the education and the classes, how we learned all the elements and all of our options, and it just became kind of a natural progression to have a home birth.
So what we did to prepare for our birthing was, number one, we researched a lot of birthing classes and we settled on hypnobirthing. Actually, I read a book many years ago, and I've been doing self-hypnosis for a long time, and when we found out that we were pregnant, I was like, oh, hypnobirthing, and I wasn't sure if there were classes offered. And then I went online and typed in hypnobirthing San Diego, and the birthing class came up for CARE's Birthing Education Center, and we signed up right away, and that's what we did. We read the books, we did all the things. What else did we do to prepare?
Well, you read the books and told me when to show up, and
basically, yeah.
And we showed up, and
yeah, it was, this is what we're doing, get your ass in class. So it was always my intention to have a home birth, and when I told Lee this, he decided that we should compromise, and so we had a conversation about it, and so I decided that okay, I would compromise because this is also a big part of his decision making as well. So we decided that we were going to do a birthing center inside the hospital, and as we were going through the classes, as we were going to our appointments and finding out that everything was healthy inside of my body and my mindset and all of that, and also going to the birthing classes, the hypnobirthing classes, and learning about the differences between a hospital birth, a birthing center birth, and a home birth, I think that that's when we decided that we would look in closer to having a home birth, because for me, I wanted agency over my experience, and I didn't want to have or be forced or be and have fear tactics put on me. And I think that that was the biggest part of why we switched, was because I felt that there were some times during our appointment processes at the birthing center in the hospital that they were using fear tactics on us, and that's when we decided to change.
yeah, and when CARE referred us to a couple of doulas, we interviewed a couple of very nice ladies, and one we settled on kind of posed the question, like, well, why not a home birth? She came here and met with us and thought this would be a great, beautiful place to have a home birth. Said, why not a home birth? So we thought about it a little more, and I started taking it seriously, and then from there we interviewed a few midwives and found one we were happy with. And then I was very excited to have a home birth, to have the control over the environment and not everybody coming in and disturbing kind of our peace. So we were able to set a very peaceful, harmonious environment.
Yeah, and just having agency over that experience, and knowing that we could have candles and music, and like Granny, my mother-in-law, who I adore, said that it was like the most romantic experience that she'd ever had, because she was also here for the birth. And it's true, like I was in a trance the entire time, and it was just such a peaceful environment that it was conducive to us bringing our son into the world in a way that was just incredible. I don't think we would have had that experience anywhere else. So I woke up on Saturday morning, and I was feeling the surges come, and they felt really different. I could feel it down in my pelvic area, and I knew that it was time. And so I did all the things that morning. I finished everything in my checklist. I actually took a shower, put my hair up, and on Saturdays Lee leads a boot camp, and he'd gone out for the morning and he came back, and his general routine was, is that he'll run, come home, take a shower, take a nap. And we were lying and we were lying in bed, and I was like, babe, I really think that I'm in labor. And he looked at me, he's like, I think it's a false alarm. He'll be here next week. I was like, no, I think that it's time. And so, but I went ahead and, went about my day. I went grocery shopping. I was in the middle of Trader Joe's pushing my cart, and I would feel the surge come on. I would just stop and hold and just have the surge in the middle of the pasta aisle. And then we just, throughout the day, they just got closer and closer, and I just felt like, as it got closer, and, once we got to 411, which was something that we learned in class, we texted our doula and our midwives to let them know what was going on, and from there, there's this thing called labor amnesia. I don't remember very much, so Lee's gonna have to take over from here.
Well, from there, I started putting things together with the birthing pool here on our outdoor patio. So we wanted to have this process here outside as far as the birthing pool. We weren't sure if that was where he was going to be born, but it turned out that he was born exactly where you're standing here, right here. And it was right at sunset, so the sun was setting, and it was the most peaceful environment. And so from that point, I started getting things prepared, lining up candles, lighting candles, getting the music set, and really just making it a very quiet sanctuary, because it was just, we had actually 2 midwives, 1 doula, my mother, and me as the only guy here. But it was just, at no point during this process did things ever seem chaotic or out of control or in any way get excited. Everybody was just very easy. So I think your midwife said she was surprised how well I handled it for some reason.
She did.
She thought I'd be a little more energetic with my personality. So yeah, I mean, the labor process was, it took overnight, so it was like a 30-hour process before he came the fall. That was Saturday midday this happened, and he was born Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But at no point did Linda ever want to give up. So I really acknowledged her and do for really being strong mentally. So, what I caution people about for home birth is, I think the mother has to really have the true intention that should everything be proceeding and everything is healthy, then we're going to do this. And that was our commitment to each other, that we're not going to give up. If there were any medical reasons to leave, we were prepared to do that. But until then, 29 hours, like, okay, well, it is what it is. And we were here the whole time together, and we were kind of in and out of the birthing pool and in different parts of the house, and doing a lot of the positions we learned in class, from rocking to cradling to spooning in bed.
To the sifting. We did all of that, yeah.
Everything. And ultimately, Huxley was born in the birthing pool. I was in the birthing pool, and the midwives were on the outside. And so I was in the pool, and I could feel his head crowning, and he came out right in my hands. And it was the most...
You're gonna make me cry. It's so good. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And this end, beautiful. And words to describe how.
Yeah, it was the most incredible experience of my lifetime, and I can't imagine letting a hospital and professionals take that away from me. The midwives are there to support us and help, and
rob us from that experience.
Yeah, this beautiful baby came out, and it was just right in my hands, and then we were able to, put him on your chest in the pool for an extended amount of time.
It was more than 30 minutes.
And then come inside on the couch and relax in the blanket with you and him on your chest, and the umbilical cord still attached. So we waited more than a half hour before they had me cut it. And then only after that did I get a hold of him by myself. Maybe that was when you were...
I was giving birth to the placenta.
Placenta, yeah. I think that's when I got to step in, when you were giving birth to the placenta. So, yeah, looking back, now I'm very, very happy we made the decision to go to your class, Kara. If it wasn't for the class, I wouldn't have been educated. I wouldn't have felt comfortable. So it's all about getting educated.
Yeah.
And, some people might go to the class and still not be comfortable, and that's okay. We had healthy markers from every checkup from every professional. So they said we were high risk because of her age, yet there wasn't any specific thing they could point to say this is what makes you high risk: your blood pressure or your heart rate or the baby's heart rate. So everything was healthy. I wouldn't have been comfortable if everything wasn't healthy. So I look at it as an intelligent decision, not a decision that was taken lightly at all. And just get educated. And if it fits for you, great. I can just tell you, for us, it's a birthing experience that I wouldn't trade for $1 million. If they said, go to the hospital, do it again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It was just too...
it was too precious.
It was too precious and too memorable, and to be able to have that last a lifetime and share that with him.
Exactly.
Huxley.
Yeah, and I mean, what I remember also now, it's like slowly coming back. I was in a trance the entire time, and I think that was because I wasn't scared at all. There was no fear in my mind and my body, and one of my affirmations was, I trust the wisdom of my body, I trust the wisdom of my baby, and throughout the day, that was just replaying over and over in my mind. And that's something that we learned in class through the books, through the hypnobirthing books, and just being able to get out of my own way was incredible, because I just let my body do the work. And when people ask me, well, wasn't it painful? For me, it wasn't painful. It was just a high level of discomfort that was intense for sure, but it wasn't like, getting cut by a knife, or it wasn't that kind of pain. It was just a high level of discomfort. And by the way, I cut my foot 4 days before I gave birth to our son, and that was way more painful, and it totally freaked me out, but it was way more painful than the actual birthing process. The last maybe 10 minutes of birthing, like, I could feel his head, and I was so exhausted, and as my midwife was guiding me through the process and to get him out, like, as soon as his head came out, I was like, oh God, this is, we're here, we're at the tail end. And she said, you can wait for the next surge, or you can push him out now. I was like, I'm pushing this baby out now. And so as soon as he came out, I was just washed over with euphoria is the best word that I could use to describe that feeling. And when I held him on my chest, it was just like the most incredible, precious thing. And I don't even have the words to describe what that feeling is like, but it was just number one, a relief to have him out of my body. And it was, I don't know, it's just so incredible to be able to hold him and look at him and hear his cry. Like, he sneezed, and it was like just the cutest thing ever. And then Lee was the first to see him, and he came out. I was on all fours, and he came out backwards. So.
Yeah, he came out towards me, and he was halfway out. He's underwater, and he's looking up. His eyes are open. His lips like super bright red. His eyes are open, looking up at me in the water. He's about maybe just 6 inches under the water, and that was a position for about maybe 30 seconds when the midwife said you can wait or you can push, and then it was that last push. He came all the way out, he stayed under the water, and we passed him back under her legs, and he came up and out and on her chest.
Yeah, and it was so cool. It was so cool.
So I was the first to see him.
He was the first to see him.
And hold him.
And I was a little jealous about that.
It was really beautiful, amazing.
So one of the things that I like to say that I'm actually stealing from Miss Dolly Parton is that I don't give advice, I give information. And so what was really important for us when we were going through the birthing process and when I was pregnant was, number one, just really getting educated, finding out all of our classes, all of our options, and for me, I am a sponge. I just need to know everything all the time, and I won't need to do everything just so that I have the best chance of having a successful whatever it is. And in this case, obviously, it was having the best birth experience. And so everything that was recommended, we did basically, except maybe the pool in Point Loma or wherever it was. Anyways, it was like the water massage. But I got a massage pretty much twice a week, or no, once a week until our birthing. Just ate a ton of protein. That was key. And I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to be educated on all the things and do all the things, which, we found out through Kira's class. All the things. So we did all the things.
Yes.
Anything to say?
You did them very well. I think what I would offer to perhaps the fathers is just being in the moment and really being there for her and creating that calm, peaceful environment so that she can be calm. I need to stay calm, and just holding her hand, giving her food, giving her the little protein cookies, having her drink, just keeping her nourished and hydrated, and being there, and just
being that rock. You were so good at that. Thank you.
And not showing any fear. I didn't have any fear. There was nothing to show, but just projecting that confidence that we can do this.
We're in it together.
Yeah, we're in it together. This is going to happen.